back to Active Quest. This is episode 29, and I'm your host, Joseph Yaden. Joining me today is, of course, Josh Nichols. How's it going, Josh?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing, Joseph?
I am exhausted. I'm very sore. My partner Kennedy moved in with me this weekend, and we're just dealing with all that, all the moving, and she lived about 2 hours away from me before, so there's a bit of a haul, like a journey, you know?
Yeah, even like a small load of stuff still takes 4 hours to bring there.
Well, we managed to get everything in one trip.
Oh, nice.
Which was amazing. So happy about that. But yeah, now like just the house is trashed and we're just going through everything. And we went to IKEA today, so that was a whole thing. Just being an adult, you know.
Yeah, dude, buying furniture and like putting it together and like picking out where it goes, it's so much fun.
It is fun, but it's also a testament of it, or like tests your relationship with the other person. Like putting together furniture, I think, is like it's like a really good way to test if you're compatible with somebody.
Like that, cooking together, and then playing Overcooked 2 together. Those are the three pillars.
Especially cooking and the putting together furniture, because you're in proximity of hammers and knives and shit. So it's like it's like perfect opportunity.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris is not here this week. I think he had something going on with work, and unfortunately, you know, since he's got to eat, he had to take priority over that. So that's okay. I would like to.
We'll allow it,
eventually. We'll allow it. Yeah, this one time. No, I mean, obviously, we'd like to make this be our source of income so he could eat, but you know, it's fine. We'll see what happens. I think he said that it was just I think he started a new job or something.
Yeah.
So he should be joining us going forward. So you know, hopefully his first day or whatever, or his first week's going well. Josh, did you have a good week?
Oh my god, dude! I know this is a video game podcast, but like as you are aware, like I just like you, I love like everything about horror.
Oh yeah,
dude! Just went and saw Midsummer the other day with my wife. Oh my fucking gosh!
Oh man,
it was so good.
I've been wanting to see that because that's from the same director as Hereditary.
Yeah,
correct?
Yep, Ari Aster, and holy shit,
Yeah.
It's just one of those kinds of horror movies where like you're like no one's talking, no one's moving, like you don't even hear chairs move. You know, everyone's just.
Is it like uncomfortable?
Yeah, like it's very, very uncomfortable,
awesome.
unnerving. One of those ones where you'll be like, "Why is my neck hurt?" Oh, because I'm like sitting weird because I zoomed my body in and then like didn't move. Yeah, it's really good.
Did you like Hereditary?
Yeah, loved Hereditary. I like this one more.
Compare?
But
oh, you like it more?
But I mean, they're different. But like between the two, I don't know. Just this one leans into like kind of that like cult-like folk type horror, and I like that a lot.
Interesting.
I would compare this to like movies like The Shining, where like it's like slow, but like in a good way. You know, like
slow burn.
Yeah, a lot of building. Really good. If you like horror at all, like anybody listening, go watch it. And then just do what we did. We knew we wanted to see Toy Story 4 as well, and we thought, well, let's have that be our chasers. We watched that right afterwards.
Oh, that's a great balance.
Like we wanted to see it anyway,
to like
we're like
wash it down.
Yeah, if we're gonna see them both at like back to back, let's put it like that. That way, when we go to bed, we can think of Tom Hanks speaking to us.
Instead of, I don't even know what Midsummer's about, but like something like Hereditary, like demons and shit.
Yeah, like
just not great to go to sleep.
Yeah. Toy Story 4 was great too. I would agree with what Polygon said, which was like this wasn't necessary, but it was great. Like they could have left it at 3, and it would have been fine. But like this was really good. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So this week it's gonna be a little bit lighter. It's going to be a light week, and that's a pun actually, because the main yeah, it's bad when you have to tell somebody that you're making a pun though. That's not good. The main story of the week, of course, is the Nintendo Switch Lite was announced, so we'll cover that in depth. Oh, you probably just heard my controller. I've got Metal Gear Solid 5 running in the background, and anytime anything happens in that game, the controller talks to you. So just
oh, that's cool.
And then the other big story was the Cuphead Netflix show that was announced, so that's awesome.
Yeah, very excited for that.
We'll dive into just I mean, I'm a nerd. I like these stats. The top 4 PS4 downloads for the month of June. So there's a Mortal Kombat movie being made.
Does PlayStation... I don't think Xbox does, but does PlayStation do the thing Nintendo does, where you can go to the best-selling spot, like, on the eShop? Xbox has, like, a best-selling page, but, like, I don't know how often they update it.
Well, I don't
Whereas
think
I know
so,
Nintendo's is for the month, you know?
Yeah. I don't think so, but even if there is that, it's not, like, hard stats. Like, these are, like, stats, like, from PlayStation Blog, in order. Like,
I see. So you're saying these are hard stats with sales numbers and okay.
Yeah, like a best-selling. Like you could probably imagine what the best-selling games on PS4 are: Grand Theft Auto, basketball. All these games, Call of Duty. But these are like for the month of June in order. I like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It's like NPD. But yeah, like I was saying, Mortal Kombat movie is in the news because it's going to be rated R, which maybe is surprising, maybe not. I don't know. And it's going to have fatalities in it, so we'll talk about that. And then of course, what. Is it a week in video game news if there's no controversy about Final Fantasy VII Remake? So
it's a requirement. We won't even record if we don't have that. We got it. Yeah.
So the news on that was that there was a listing for it on Xbox One, but that turned out to be an error. So we'll talk about that. Since this week has been a little bit hectic for me, I haven't really gotten a chance to play a whole lot other than the aforementioned Metal Gear Solid 5, which I'm working on the platinum for that. It looks like you've been playing a lot more than I have. You've been playing Dr. Mario World, which I'm very, very curious to hear your thoughts on, and one of my favorite 2D platformers of all time. So that'll be exciting. And we've got our listener questions, which again, thank you everybody. It's so funny though because Chris, he's not on this week's show, but he actually wrote in a question for us, so that was kind of nice. So, before we get into the news, just a couple things. Of course, you can find our show on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. You can support us on Patreon. Toss us a buck if you like what we're doing. You can purchase our shirts. We have a bunch of different options for that on Teespring. We got a link in the description for that. What am I missing? Yeah, just share the show. I mean, leave us reviews on iTunes. That really helps with the algorithm. I know I'm sure you hear that all the time. Actually, some people already left us some good reviews on iTunes.
Yeah, I think that helps us a lot for discovery. It helps a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw this, Josh. Somebody left us a review. I don't know who it is, obviously, because it's like, just like a username. Mm-hmm. But I might actually, I'm going to read it just right now, just since we're on the topic. Let me see here.
Well, while you're looking that up, I just want to say that we've got 6 reviews on iTunes, and they're all 5s. So, wow, thank you guys. That's super generous and nice of you. I don't know if I think we're a 5 out of 5 show. I think at best I would say a 4 out of 5. So you are more generous than I, and we appreciate that.
What the hell? What do you mean?
No, it's me. It's me. I clog up the works. You and Chris are 5 out of 5 guys. You know.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Here, this is from Lemonade, Lolmonade, Lolmonade.
I like it. It's good.
He says, quote, "These guys have a fun, relaxed style to their conversations about what games they're playing, game news of the week, and other topics. They've got a good rapport that makes them enjoyable listen, so that's cool." I thought we had another one that I wanted to read, but here we go. Another guy, Mike Dean, says, quote, "Casual, funny, and informative." So that's very nice. It really does help. And if you don't want to write a review either, you can just put, just rate us 4 or 5 stars, whatever. So anyway, now that we got all that out of the way, let's dive into some news. Josh, would you like to?
Yeah, let's do it.
And of course, how could I forget? Oh, there it is. Did you guys hear that? I don't know.
What flavor was that? I couldn't hear the flavor. I just heard the noise.
You couldn't hear the flavor?
No.
It's still. I'm rocking the passion fruit.
Oh, passion fruit's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and on the topic of fruit, before we get into the news, I got at IKEA today. I got a fruit bowl. And I'm very that's it. That's the story. I'm very excited about my fruit bowl because previously all my fruit was just scattered across my countertop.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a good fruit bowl.
Chaos. It was horrible. I couldn't sleep at night. One
of my favorite, fruit everywhere. I'm a grown up now, so I guess I'll buy one of these. Is bread boxes. Bread boxes are fucking amazing.
Oh, you know what? I need to get one of those.
They're just so great, and you can get a good one. We actually have to replace ours. Ours broke a little while back. We got one at Target though for $20, and like it's great. They keep your, depending on how good it is, you don't have to even put your bread like in a bag. Like if it's completely airtight, but yeah.
Interesting, cool. Well, on that note of bread boxes and fruit bowls, let's jump into some news. All right, so like I said, big news of the week is the Nintendo Switch Lite was announced. You guys probably have already heard this. What I want to do is just jump into the features it has, how it differs from the base Switch, and then our thoughts on it. So right off the bat, this was something that we sort of knew about for a while, but it was finally confirmed by Nintendo last week, and it'll come out at $200. Which I think is maybe a little high. I don't know. We'll talk about that shortly. It'll come out on September 20th, the same day as Link's Awakening Remake, so that'll be interesting. It is rocking a 5.5-inch screen with the resolution of 720, which is to be expected. Now, the original Switch is a 6.2-inch screen. So
the best way I heard it described, if you're trying to get like a good idea of the size difference, Polygon said, imagine your Switch with one Joy-Con attached. And that's like the size of the unit, roughly.
Yeah. So, it's noticeable, I think. It's a noticeable difference. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, non-removable Joy-Con for extra portability. And I think the main thing is that it doesn't connect to a TV. So this is like handheld only, essentially. And they come in various colors, which I am like really
the colors are so sharp.
Colors.
Nintendo always picks great colors for their systems.
Yeah. So there's like the banana yellow, which you wouldn't think looks good, but
it looks really. That's the one I want. It looks really good.
Yeah. Same here. And then sort of like a turquoise, I guess you could call it, blue. And then like a gray. I think is gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the other one. And then it's got like a half hour longer battery.
They would chalk that up to optimization, but look, the screen's an inch smaller. Like, that's probably what it is. Yeah. That's 2 inches.
Oh, and then if for those who care, I actually don't care about this, but a lot of people do. It has a proper D-pad on it, where it's like one.
I think that's cool, but I actually don't mind the Switch's D-pad. I see people all the time that don't like it. I think it's fine.
People are like really passionate about how much they hate the Switch.
A lot of people buy the Hori brand Joy-Con, where like it doesn't have HD rumble and stuff, but it's got a proper D-pad.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fine, but I like the D-pad in the Switch.
Yeah. So Josh, what do you think about this price point of $200? Do you think that's a little high?
I think the price point's fine. I could see it dropping down to $150 to $180 around maybe. I don't want to say this Black Friday, but like a Black Friday in the future, maybe.
Yeah. I don't think $200 is like totally unreasonable, but when you consider like the breakdown of what is not included, I feel like it should be more. So like for example, obviously the dock it retails for like $90, the official Nintendo one. So right there, that should put you at $210. And then minus the Joy-Con, which the Joy-Con are normally like $80. You shouldn't just take off $80 though, because there's still like a controller built into the system.
Right.
So even if you take off like half, $40, well, that'll put you at $170,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think maybe $20, $30 less expensive would be like optimal price. But yeah, I mean,
the way I look at it, this is the same price the 3DS XL when it came out. So
the 3DS XL. Yes, you're right. Yeah, the original 3DS was $250 when it came out, which it got slashed. The price got slashed.
I got mine right before that, so I got the Ambassador program.
Yeah, exactly.
Without having to pay the big difference, the
Ambassador price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What do you make of the Switch Lite? Is this for you, and if not, who do you think this is for?
I think it's brilliant. First of all, I see a lot of people like, man, Nintendo, what are you doing? You're crazy. No, like it's brilliant. I work at GameStop off and on during the holidays for that sweet holiday discount. And I worked there when the 2DS came out. And that thing sold like gangbusters. It's perfect. It was great for parents. Biggest complaint parents had with the 3DS was a complaint that originated from the DS, which was my kid breaks the hinges. So that's why the 2DS was made. This is the same kind of thing, I think, where they're like Nintendo's realizing there's some people out there, our age and older, that might just play this in handheld mode, first of all. And second of all, there's some parents that might be on the edge because of the price, or they might be like, well, that's kind of pricey, and we don't need that dock. I could see them thinking like that, because there might be kids that just play this in handheld mode. So I think that's what this is for. It's kind of like for anyone on the fence. Because I've seen plenty of people online, like so many people that are like, man, I would only play that in handheld mode. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. So that's what this is for, I think. I think it makes sense Nintendo's making it. And I think that, if anything, this just shows Nintendo's like reading comments online and stuff, which good for them, because for years they just said, we're going to do whatever we want. We don't care what people say. So I think that's good.
Well, and a couple points, though. So I think the most important takeaway from this is that this is getting ready for Pokemon.
Yeah, which is traditionally handheld only, so yeah, it makes sense.
Well, yeah, but it's just a way to get more sales for Pokemon, because obviously Pokemon is, I think, I mean, other than Mario, like the biggest seller on Nintendo system. And yeah, the Switch is doing quite well at like 34 million units or something. But can you imagine launching with a $100 less expensive model of the Switch alongside of Pokemon, or around the same time as Pokemon? I mean, it's gonna print money.
It's a great idea. And then, like, instead of doing a price drop in their main system, they're just releasing another version. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's brilliant. And also, they've got a Pokemon version of the system. It looks sharp. It looks really good.
Yeah, but it doesn't come with the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, which I'm kind of confused by. I mean, I understand not bundling it in for free, but I would just charge the price of the game and include the game is the way I look at it.
Or maybe $10 less or something.
Yeah, because they've done that before. I've seen like the system's $350 instead of $360, and it's got Mario Kart 8. Like for the Wii U.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
My only major complaint, I've got two complaints here. The first one is I actually am about to replace my Joy-Cons that I got with our first Switch, which we got at launch, because I'm starting to have a bit of stick drift on my left Joy-Con joystick. And that's not a major problem for our Switch, because like it's not connected to the system, of course, so I can just go trade those controllers in towards new controllers at GameStop. Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But like if I've read that other people have those issues with the Joy-Cons as well with the joysticks, and so like that would effectively like, I got to replace my entire system. My only other caveat here is, and I know anyone who follows me on Twitter probably saw me saying this, I will buy one of these if Nintendo changes how profiles work. Right now, there's not really a way to have your profile go back and forth like you can do on PlayStation and Xbox. You're effectively doing a system. You really? Can, but it's not like it's not the same scale as PlayStation and Microsoft.
So you're saying you can't pull up a Switch and just log in with your account?
You can, but now your other account's no longer active.
It deactivates your previous account?
Okay, so here's the way it works, and I'm going to take everybody back to 1997 because that's where Nintendo lives sometimes with technology. So here's how it works. You can have your account on two systems, technically. But if your account, the second system your account on, will only work if you are connected to the internet. Which I understand they don't want to run into like a game sharing situation like on PlayStation, Xbox, like permanently. Your friend's got a Switch, you've got a Switch, you log in over there, bam. I get that, but like, look, come on. Like, let me check in online once a day, but like I'm talking, it requires a constant internet connection for that second system. And here's the problem: saves aren't even stored on games anymore; they're stored in the system. So I can't, even if you're physical only, you couldn't just buy a Switch Lite and be like, whatever, I can take my saves with me. No, they're on your system now.
But isn't there the cloud for you to download your save, or does it? Oh, but it has to be tied to that account
exactly
for it to count.
Yeah, so I mean, you could affect. Here's the way you can look at it. It depends on how much time you have. You could do a system transfer every morning if you want.
Oh my god.
That's pretty much what you'd have to do, though. When you buy a new 3DS, well, no, let's not go with 3DS because that you had to like call Nintendo. That was a pain in the ass. But like when you
there was a way to do a system transfer on 3DS, but yes, there was an example where you would have to call them as well for like purchases or something. I can't remember.
If you lost your 3DS and bought a new one, you'd have to call and get it sent over via serial number. I had to do it. It was they handled it well, but this process was dumb. But anyway, long story short, you're pretty much having to do a system transfer each and every time. It's not like the quick and convenient. Think like when your PS3 or 360 broke and you bought a new one and logged in and transferred it. But like imagine that every morning before you grab your Switch Lite and leave. So if they don't change that, I'm not going to buy one of these because I already have a Switch. But if they make it so I can just sign in on this one and this is my quote unquote active system, if they streamline that or change that, then I'm in. But other than that, it doesn't really work well for me. But that's my only catch. If they change that, like, guys, I'll buy a second one. Like, please. I'll just keep one in my backpack, you know?
So for me, I'm with you on everything you just said. I think we're going to get one only because Kennedy wants to play the new Animal Crossing. And obviously, you know, that's a big deal. It's a system seller.
Oh, Animal Crossing and Pokemon. Yeah. Like, I know so many people that are like, when that comes out, I will buy one.
Right. So I don't know that I would like use it too much, but there will be one in my house, and it'll be, I guess, primarily Kennedy's. So that'll be for Animal Crossing and any other like little indies that she might want to play. Cool. Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I don't know that I'll get one at launch, but it's really cool that Nintendo announced that. And even with all the little minor gripes, I think it's a smart move. Awesome. So let's move on here. This was the other big story of the week, and this was the announcement that Cuphead is going to be coming to Netflix in the form of an original show. So some of the members of Studio MDHR will be involved in this, but it's going to be like an original show, so it's not going to be like based on the game or anything like that. It will star Cuphead and Mugman, and it is coming at an unannounced time. When this was announced, at first I thought they were saying the game was coming to Netflix, because you know how there are like those, there are a couple games on Netflix.
Bandersnatch and like Minecraft, Telltale, yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first thought, and then I saw, oh, it's a Netflix original series. Oh, awesome. And then I was like, oh, of course it's coming to Netflix. Like, of course, like it looks like a cartoon. It looks like a show. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm really pumped about this. No specified date or anything like that. But yeah, that's really awesome. I know we're both Cuphead fans. I can't remember if Chris likes Cuphead or not, but yeah, man, I'm really, really pumped for this. I don't know how many episodes it'll be, but it seems like it'll be something sort of akin to the Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah, some people online were saying, I wonder if they're going to have dialogue or not, because this show could totally work without dialogue because of the kind of era of cartoons and animation that it kind of echoes.
That's a great point.
Or maybe they can just have like little like middle of the episode segments that are like kind of more like Steamboat Willie. You know, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's an interesting point because it could go either way.
I hope it doesn't have dialogue. I think if they want to include anything like that, I think the closest thing they should get is like what they would do in the silent films, where it would like go to a screen with text on it.
That would be so cool.
And then go into the show, and then like something would happen, and then another screen of text, something like that. I think if done well enough, you don't need dialogue. I think you can get the point across anyway. And honestly, like, no offense to Cuphead, but what kind of deep lore is there? Like, I don't think there's going to be some deep ass story. It's going to be them going around just, you know, slapstick.
Just Cuphead it up, you know.
Right. So that's basically it.
Pretty cool. It'll probably bring in some more fans, like more people playing the game too.
Yeah, you know that exactly, because when looking at it from our point of view, we're all gamers and we know Cuphead. We know Cuphead the game. Well, think of all the people who have Netflix who are gonna see, oh, Cuphead, this looks kind of cool for my kid to watch or something, and then all these people will watch it and then go, oh, it's a game. They'll realize, oh, it's a game, and then that might generate more games.
And even if the kid doesn't, the parent might be like, oh, I need to check this game out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing that I think is really cool too, and like worth pointing out, is Netflix has very good, very good streak with quality. So it coming to Netflix, yeah, it gives me confidence that it'll.
That's a good point. Yeah, I really enjoyed this year Sex Education, the Netflix show.
I've heard that's good. I need to check it out.
Really, really good, man. Seriously, like I want to say that's my show of the year. Honestly, like really, really good. And yeah, I mean, obviously they've got all their other Netflix exclusives. The Punisher, I think, came out this year as well.
Stranger Things.
Really, really good. Yeah, Stranger Things, obviously. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you updated on that. I don't imagine that'll be coming out this year, but maybe sometime next year.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the top downloads for the PlayStation Store for the month of June. I'm just going to list them in order. There isn't a whole lot to talk about here. There's maybe one or two little minor things, but it won't be too deep. So in order of downloads for PS4, it was NBA 2K19, Marvel Spider-Man, Grand Theft Auto 5, which of course it is, Minecraft PS4 edition, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Detroit Become Human, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, DayZ, God of War, and Days Gone. So that was the PS4 games in order. And then these are the PSVR games. Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted.
Oh, I need to play that. That looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, it does. Super Hot VR, Beat Saber, Vacation Simulator, Job Simulator, Blood and Truth, PlayStation VR World, Arizona Sunshine, Rick and Morty Virtual Reality, and Until Dawn Rush of Blood. The VR list was not surprising at all.
I'm surprised that Trevor Saves the Universe wasn't on there. We got that when it came out. It's really cool.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there are a couple ones that are missing from there, but I think like that's the thing with the VR games is like. There's a lot of shit that actually comes out, but you never hear about it. All you hear about is basically this list here and then, a handful of other ones. So that might be concerning for the platform. But the main thing I wanted to touch on was that NBA 2K19 was the the most downloaded game for the month of June on PS4. And the reason for that is because it was on sale for $3.
So it ended up on the top-selling games for the last year on Switch, too, and it was for the same reason.
Yeah, which, honestly, I bought it. Yeah. I bought it for $3 because it's one of those games to where if you ever have company over or a cousin over who, like, maybe isn't into games but, like, is into basketball or something, for $3, my God, like, it's basically free.
Yeah, well, and, like, even if you play it for an hour, like, you got a good,
That was worth it, yeah, exactly. So that was one I wanted to point out. The other one was Grand Theft Auto 5 coming in at number 3, which is just unreal. Like, to me, that's an anomaly. How do you say that word? Anomaly. Words. Thank you. Anomaly. Most games don't appear on... top selling, most downloaded lists 5 years after launch, 6 years after launch. I think that's an unusual one. But then again, you got something like Minecraft, which that's a pretty old game too,
Yeah.
Crash Team Racing, obviously that launched in June. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that it only came in at number 5. I would have thought that would have been up.
Especially since Insane Trilogy is actually one of the top 10 selling games on PS4. Like it sold really fucking well on PS4. So I'm surprised that. Yeah, I'm surprised racing isn't higher. Maybe that'll have a good staying power, though,
Oh, yeah, especially with the updates. I know Chris touched on I forget what it was called, Grand Prix or something. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Actually, that's another older one, too, so maybe what I said is bullshit. That's a game that is constantly updated.
Siege is so amazing.
Yeah. And then the other one, DayZ, that launched at the tail end of May. And so a lot of those downloads sort of bled into the month of June. And then God of War and Days Gone, no surprises there. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Anomaly is the way you say that word.
I just want to say if anyone is ever on the fence at all on Rainbow Six, get it. The base game goes on sale for $10, $15, $20 pretty often. Pick it up because it is so addictive. It's so good. I actually have to stop myself from playing it because I'll play it too long and I won't play other stuff that I want to play. It's just it's so much fun.
And it's one of those games that you have to play often to keep your skill level up because otherwise people just stomp you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep going here. The next story is the Final Fantasy Remake Xbox One listing was a mistake. So let's give a little context here. I've got an article pulled from GameSpot. This is from Eddie McCutch. It reads, quote, Final Fantasy VII Remake is confirmed to launch on March 3rd, 2020 for PS4, but is an Xbox One version also coming? Despite what you may have seen, it seems that it's not. Following an erroneous posting, Square Enix has reiterated its only plan for launch on PS4. The Xbox Germany Facebook page recently posted a video that stated that the Final Fantasy VII Remake would release on Xbox One on March 3rd alongside the PS4 edition. However, Xbox Germany's marketing, communication, and social lead Maxi Graf confirmed that it was only a mistake. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. This was pretty much said either the day of or the day after this was seen, but it was a little bit confusing because people were like, is it a mistake that it's coming to Xbox One at all, or was it a mistake that you told people it was coming to Xbox One? Mm-hmm. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So people were sort of confused, and then it keeps going. The related materials with the March 3rd date were moved right away, and Graf apologized for the mistake. Graf went on to say that the team will work hard to make sure this kind of slip-up doesn't happen again. Yeah, now,
So my take's kind of spicy on this. I think it is coming to Xbox. I just think it's going to be a timed exclusive. I think it's going to come to Xbox a year after it releases on PS4. A lot of people point to like, but it's a PlayStation game. Cool. I've been playing it on my Switch. I know that's the original, but I'm just saying if Sony owned any kind of stake in Final Fantasy VII, I think that was changed when Square bought some of their stock back from PlayStation a couple years back. Also, I think this game's too big for Square to even consider keeping it one platform. This game's going to sell like crazy. So yeah, I think this is going to come to Xbox after a year.
Honestly, I don't think that's a spicy take at all. I'm with you. I think, yeah, I totally agree. Now, one thing I will say is I don't know what's tied up in that in terms of where that game is allowed to go. Because, yes, you're right. The original Final Fantasy VII was like a home to its home was the original PlayStation, and yeah, it did come to Switch, but
and Xbox, the original,
the port came to Xbox as well.
Yeah.
Oh well, then never mind.
Yeah, that's on that's on PC, that's on Xbox, it's on Switch, it's on iOS.
Then I was gonna say if it hadn't come to Xbox, then maybe there's a precedent for that. But yeah, if it's come to Xbox, I don't see any reason why not. That's another thing that would just print money. And based on its reception at E3, I mean, my God, I don't even like and I don't dislike Final Fantasy, but I'm not.
You're not wrapped up in it, yeah.
Yeah, but man, I saw that gameplay and I was like, dude, this is like insane.
Yeah, it looks
good this looks.
It looks like the original, like as far as like it looks like a game changer. It looks like it's gonna like really shake things up a lot in the industry. I think it's gonna pull a lot of people in that might not normally play JRPGs, which is the same thing the original did, you know?
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think the clever thing with that game is the way it balances real-time sort of Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden combat with the turn-based stuff that people love. Like, how easy would it have been for them to just go, you know what, it's just Devil May Cry combat now. Sorry about you.
Yeah, instead they blended it in a really interesting way that...
Really, really smart.
It kind of carries the original spirit, but also modernizes it, which is great not only for honoring the legacy of the original, but also in modernizing it. So yeah, it's a really good balance, both from a fan service standpoint, but also from like an update standpoint. It's the kind of thing I like to see in a remake.
Right. Now, the last point I wanted to make before moving on here is obviously this remake that's coming out in March of 2020 is part 1, I guess, and I don't know how that's going to work with other parts. And also, if there is a part 2 that comes out at some point, perhaps part 1 and 2 will launch simultaneously on Xbox or something like that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I think
that could be. I just don't know how that's going to work because you have to remember this section is only supposed to be, what is it called, Midgar, right?
Yeah,
that's that
Midgar,
area.
Yeah.
I played the original Final Fantasy, but it's been a while. That's a small portion of the game, right? And so, how many parts is this going to be? And how long will it take to get there?
I haven't finished the original. I'm still playing through it my Switch, but from a lot of people have told me there was a whole shitload of stuff they wanted to do back then they couldn't do due to constraints. And those same people are like, you know, running the game, like the development of this game now. So like, basically, it's almost like a director's cut. Where like, okay, we didn't get to do this, 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 and this. Now we can. And then also, of course, you also have the whole like, you know, hindsight's 2020. Like, oh, I wish we would have. I wish we would have. So I think those two things are going to combine to just expand a lot of character development in a lot of areas.
Yeah, I know, but think about how long it's taken. Which obviously, if there's a part 2, it won't take this long. But still, think about how long it takes to develop games. If this first game is just Midgar, how many games is this going to span?
Yeah,
and even if we get a game every 2 years.
How long does that happen?
God, it'll be 12 years before we get the full game. And then how will that work? Like, one example I always like to give, too, is, like, when you're developing a game, like a series, the next one is always, like, better in terms of features. Like, or you would strive to as a developer, right? Like, oh, we've improved this, and we've included this thing that you couldn't do in the previous game. Well, if this is supposed to be one
that could
package,
be jarring, yeah. If each installment's got improvements and changes,
yeah, it's kind of like Arkham Asylum. The difference between Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight, not in terms of quality, but think of all the things that you're able to do in Arkham Knight that you're not able to do in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of continuity, like they're gonna probably want to throw in extra stuff those later iterations, but it may, yeah, you're right, it may be jarring. How will that impact like your save carrying over, if that's even a thing?
My guess would be that they have got multiple. I mean, obviously they've got shared assets, which that reduces on development time for a lot of stuff. But I bet they've got different teams working in different portions of the game. Maybe like let's say there's 3 games for the entire game. I don't know. Maybe they've got all 3 of those in development at the same time, just with more on the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be. I don't know that it is just 3 games.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. It's a whole thing. Anyway, bottom line, I think you're right. I think that's coming to Xbox One. I think it's timed, and I think it'll maybe launch alongside Part 2.
I'm sure Sony just threw a couple $1 million at him to keep it for a year, and like that helps the development. So like, as much as timed exclusives aren't my favorite, like if it helps the developer, whatever.
So last story here, just wanted to touch on is the Mortal Kombat movie will be rated R and will feature fatalities. I've got a piece here from PC Gamer. This is Fraser Brown. It reads, quote, "The new Mortal Kombat movie will be the first to be rated R in North America. And you know what that means. Fatalities on the big screen. The most gratuitously violent fighting game is finally getting a gratuitously violent film," which I guess they're comparing it to the Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s.
God, I remember that.
Writer Greg Russo, who is also working on the Resident Evil, Saints Row, and Fear movies, which, holy shit, I didn't know there was a Fear movie coming out. Wow.
That
would be interesting.
Could be good or horrible.
Yeah, confirmed the rating on Twitter, but wouldn't confirm which of the glory-killing blows will make it into the adaptation. Let's see, the tweet from him is basically what I just said. The roster hasn't been revealed either, though we do know it will feature our chili pal, Sub-Zero, played by actor and martial artist Joe Taslim, I don't know who that is, who also starred as Jaka in The Raid. You can't do Mortal Kombat without the Frosty Ninja, and he'll probably be joined by his old frenemy Scorpion. And then the film is supposed to be out March 5th, 2021, so we got a little ways for that. Cool. I think people are trying at video game films more now.
Which is nice, because we've got some great detailed stories and worlds, but there's just been this disconnect between how they have adapted them in the past.
Yeah. Man, I hate to be cynical and negative here. I just find it really hard to believe that a Mortal Kombat movie will be actually, like, good. Because the main thing with Mortal Kombat... Game. Yeah, right. The main thing with Mortal Kombat is pulling people's spines out of their mouths, right? Or, like, chopping somebody's head off. Like, whatever.
Which, I mean, no judgment. We all party differently, but...
Yeah, but, like, in terms of the story, like... I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm sure the story is fine, and from what I hear, Mortal Kombat 11's story is pretty good, but is it worthy of a movie? Like, is it that good? I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, I played a fair amount of 11. I don't know how that story wouldn't translate to a movie well, I don't think.
Yeah. But, like, something like maybe the recent Pokemon or Detective Pikachu, I think that's a story that you could do, and obviously that worked out really well. But some of these games, I mean, Saints Row maybe I think could work. Fear could work.
I'm nervous
Resident
about
Evil.
Fear. I don't think it's going to be good, but the games were great. No. It could be good.
No. Yeah, it's not. That's probably not going to be good. But, and wasn't there a Resident Evil Netflix show that was announced?
I think so.
Or did I make that up? Was that... I
think that's where these games should be getting adapted, is in TV series, because it gives so much more room for like the plot to stretch. Like, I mean, you can't really take all of Mass Effect and just like shove it into a 3-hour long movie.
Exactly, and even a 3-hour movie would be.
Yeah.
Who wants to go see a 3-hour movie?
Unless it's Lord of the Rings, I don't want to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I pulled an article here. This isn't part of the show, like the run of show or anything, but Deadline, Resident Evil TV series in the works at Netflix. So yeah, that is a thing. Yeah. So, I think Detective Pikachu is, like, the first really good, or, pretty good video game movie. And
Detective Pikachu, they didn't really try to connect that to any of the games at all. And that was smart. They pretty much, I mean, there was references to, like, the lore, but I'm saying all in all, it was its own thing. Yeah. And I think that's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it, I think, but... Also, you can't ignore the source material. Like, that's a lot of people's biggest issues.
Yeah, there's a good balance between those two, yeah.
Where like, you can tell the showrunners or the film's producers have no idea what the game is,
Yeah.
So that can be really frustrating as a big fan of those series, to go to a movie and it doesn't even seem like it's actually that thing. So
yeah.
But anyway, we'll see how the Mortal Kombat movie shakes up in March
It is.
of
I do want to mention
2021.
really quick though. I think it's really great how much progress we've made, because for like years I remember people saying Doom, the movie.
With The
I remember
Rock?
people saying like Doom, for what it is, it's okay, it's pretty good. You just have to look at it like that. I remember hearing that brought up a lot, and I think it's really telling and great to reference the progress we've made, because now people can look back and say, no, Doom's not a good movie, but this is, and this is. Like, we have good video game adaptations now, at least. Like, we're finally getting to a point where you don't have to say it's pretty good as long as you don't go into it. You don't have to, like, have a bunch of caveats before you say it.
It's pretty good if you're drunk or whatever.
Yeah, like, we're finally getting to a point where we've got some good video game adaptations. So that's nice.
I'm hoping Witcher turns out okay, the Witcher Netflix series, which is supposed to debut at the end of this year, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Let's take a little break, and then we'll do some listener questions and round out the show with what we've been playing. All right, everybody, and we are back. Let's do some listener questions. Remember, if you want to submit a question, just be sure to look out for our thread each week on Twitter. Every Friday, we'll post a thread asking for your questions and inquiries, that kind of thing, and we'll discuss them on the show. When we record, as long as you don't have anything offensive or something, saying that you like pineapple on pizza, something like that. Then
if your question is why does Josh suck, we probably won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be like, that's kind of harsh, man.
Yeah. Cool. So the first question, again, we've got another one from Grayson here. He's features editor over at Twinfinite. He says, since a Cuphead show was just announced as a Netflix series, what other indie games would you like to see as an animated TV show? The one that came to mind for immediately was A Night in the Woods. I think that would be really, really cool. I think obviously the art style lends itself really well to an animated show, but also I think the writing is so good in that. I would love to see that, and I think unlike the Cuphead show, I think that would be one that would benefit from voice acting if done well. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think that game has voice acting in it. People probably are screaming, yes, it does. I don't think it does, though. I think it's just text. So either way, I think that'd be a really funny one. The story is interesting there. And also, I'd like to see maybe an original story with A Night in the Woods. So that would be a cool one. What about you, Josh?
For me, it's Oxenfree. I really liked the characters and the world and the atmosphere. Whether it was adapted like the game exactly, that would be cool. Like that story or an original story, but yeah, that was a really good game that I bought on like everything, including limited run on Switch. I think it's a really good game with a really interesting story, and just really the characters felt really, really well written for me. It really took me by surprise because of like how well written they were. So yeah, I think that'd be really fun and easy, like easy by comparison compared to other things, adaptation to do.
Yeah, cool. And then we've got another one. This is from Chris Penwell, who isn't on the show this week. He says, as I'm not on this week, I'll ask a question. Am I crazy for not liking Nier Automata? What games from this generation do you think are overrated and underrated? To address his first point, obviously no. I don't think he's crazy for not liking Nier Automata, but I'd like to hear why he doesn't like it to sort of address that sort of thing. If he doesn't like the combat, I do think that's a little crazy because I think the combat's amazing. I don't know. I'd have to hear what he says. Nier Automata is really cool because there are all these endings, and I haven't gotten to like the final part of it, but from what I understand, there's a point in that game where you have to make a decision that's like really, really tough. I imagine you're like choosing between two people's lives or something. Anyway, Nier Automata is great, and I think that game does a lot of unique things. The music is fantastic. So, are you crazy for not liking it, Chris? I don't think so, but I would be curious to see why you don't like it. To the main point of what games from this generation you think are overrated and underrated, for me, actually, as much as I love The Witcher 3, I do think it's overrated. I don't think the combat's particularly good. And I also, I'm not in love with Geralt as a character. He kind of reminds you of Batman in a way, of just like grunting and he's just like, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know that there's a whole lot of, I don't know, like, nuance to him. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably also screaming at the top of their lungs about that. Oh, but did you play the quest where he blah, 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 blah? I don't know. My memory of when I played that game in 2015 is just that Geralt is kind of just this gruff archetype of a buff protagonist who just is grunting and, grumpy all the time. I don't know. That's what I think's overrated. Underrated for me, which may not come as a surprise. Everybody's Golf, I think, is underrated. I think that's a game that, if that same game came out on Nintendo as a Mario Golf game, people would lose their mind over it. So that's one that I wish everybody would play. And also the VR version, I think, is good. Josh, what about you?
So I'm going to go with overrated first because I want to end on something positive. Overrated, I'm going to go with Dear Esther. I don't know how anybody could like that game.
Gear Esther?
Dear Esther.
Dear Esther. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's like I don't like using the term because I think it's derogatory, but it's a walking simulator. I'm saying that to explain what it is quickly. I prefer to call those games narrative games.
Dear Esther.
There's like nothing to that game, though. Like, I've even tried reading about it after I finished it, and like, it looks really pretty. If you like it for that reason, then fair enough. But like, I don't know how anybody could like the quote unquote story and stuff, because it's just this mindless, like, you walk around, you hear somebody narrate a little bit, and it took me 2 hours to finish that, and like, the whole thing was just a slog. I mostly just finished it because I might as well play this, so I'm familiar with it, since I usually like narrative games a lot. Like, I love Gone Home, I love Firewatch. I love, I know it's slightly different, but I love Oxenfree. I love games like that. But yeah, I thought Dear Esther was just stupid.
Yeah, listen to this. The Chinese Room, which I guess is the publisher and developer of Dear Esther, the Chinese Room released a spiritual successor to Dear Esther titled Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yeah, that game looks really cool, actually. I want to play that. That's on the
I've heard that. I haven't played that. I've heard that one's really good.
Yeah,
I think that was a free PS Plus game. Okay, give us your most underrated game of the generation.
Underrated, Quantum Break.
Yeah.
I think Quantum Break's fantastic. The criticism I hear on the TV show component I always thought was dumb because, guys, instead of cutscenes, this game has like a high-budget TV show. That's all they are. They're cutscenes. Like, it didn't blend weird with the game. They were cutscenes, which we've had for years, but they were like big budget TV show
live
cutscenes.
action.
Yeah, they were sweet.
Yeah.
So, and they weren't even that long. They weren't like Metal Gear Solid cuts. I haven't played Metal Gear Solid yet, but I've heard that game's got like crazy long cutscenes.
Oh my god, yeah, especially 4.
Yeah, like they're not that long. I think 25 minutes tops, like 20 minutes. Like they're just like TV episodes cutscenes. I thought they were great. I liked the game a lot. I thought the combat was great. I thought the story was great. The graphics are fucking incredible. I'm looking forward to replaying that in 4K. If you haven't played Quantum Break, it's on PC, it's on Xbox, it's on Game Pass. Like, play that game. It's so good. I think it's one of the Xbox exclusives that I think's like stack up with like Sony's. Like, I think it's really good.
Yeah. And that, for those who don't know, is from Remedy.
Yeah,
and it's one of Josh's favorite studios.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Who recently acquired the rights back to Alan Wake. So
something else that's neat too is it's actually in the same universe as Alan Wake. I don't really want to go into detail, but like there's a part where like you see some stuff in a classroom talking about what happened to Alan Wake, like they were discussing it in a college classroom, which like I think it's really cool because like without going into any spoilers, just for anybody who's completed Alan Wake, if that kind of shit happened in real life, like yeah, there'd be some fucking professor talking about it, like because it was crazy. So yeah, really cool way to handle that. But yeah, Quantum Break is it's fantastic.
Awesome. So, Josh, like I said, this is a little bit of a lighter episode. Let's just finish the show out with what we've been playing, and we'll call it a day, all right?
Sure, sounds good.
Cool. So, like I mentioned before, I haven't done a whole lot this week in terms of gaming, just because we've been dealing with the move and just adulting and stuff, so I only really have gotten a chance to play a couple things here. I played some more of the Marvel Spider-Man DLC, which is interesting. I don't know how much I want to talk about this though, because it may spoil some of the original game. But what I will say is there's some really sweet costumes you can get from completing the DLC. And they're all like sort of like self-contained little things. And yeah, I mean, it's just more Spider-Man, more reasons to go back. With all the talk of Spider-Man Far From Home, I wanted to jump into that universe a little bit more.
They did a suit download from that movie too, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. So every MCU Spider-Man suit can be worn in Marvel Spider-Man from Insomniac.
Cool.
So that's real. Plus Sam Raimi's. So really, really interesting. Love that. But the main thing I've been playing is just more of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm working on the Platinum for that. And I just wrapped up the trophy where you have to collect all of the animals in the game. And for those who aren't aware, you can, it's like an open world and you go to various locations and there are all these animals across the map and you can either, like depending on their size, you have to like tranquilize them and shoot them back up to your base with a Fulton, which is basically like a balloon strapped to them and they just go up to your base. Or you can set little traps and you'll capture the animal. And then when you go back to your base, you have a petting zoo, basically. And all of your animals that you've collected are in this zoo. And it's just really, really weird and interesting and totally unnecessary, but it's
Can you pet them, though?
Oh, yeah, I did say it's a petting zoo. I don't know if you actually can pet them.
I hope you can pet them. That would be cool.
I don't think you... I don't know. I don't think you can. I'll have to check. I'll report back on that.
If you can't, then we're going to blame it on Konami.
Yeah. And one of the other cool things... I mean, I've harped on how much I love this game, but one of the other cool things, too, is if you start, like, killing a lot of enemies... This is kind of like Bloodborne, too. If you kill a lot of enemies, you'll be, like, showered in blood, basically. Like, your character will just have blood all over them. And... if you keep doing that, you'll start to get, like, stinky, and you'll see, like flies like flying around your character's head because you're stinky. And so what you have to do is go back to base and take a shower. Otherwise, I think that's like a mechanic in game too. Like I think enemies might be able to smell you or something like that. So I don't know if it's that exactly, or maybe animals can smell you if you're stinky. So like it's like a mechanic. Like you want to go back and shower. So that was kind of a cool thing. That's basically it. Like I said, haven't had a whole lot of time to do anything. Josh, tell me about some stuff you've been checking out.
Okay, so I'm going to go through most of mine kind of quick because I've been a little busy right now. Part of the reason I've been playing so many different things is because I've been like at home. I've been gone a lot from home, so I wanted to have something to play no matter where I'm at. So I finished Super Mario Maker 2 Story Mode. Really enjoyed that. I cannot recommend that enough. I know we kind of touched on it last week, so all I'm going to say is even if you're not interested in the building component, the levels from Nintendo alone are worth the price of entry. And then, of course, you can always play stuff people make online. And I know that the levels that are like, don't move, and then the levels that are like, fucking make Super Meat Boy look like nothing as far as like difficulty goes, get the most like attention. But like, there's all kinds of really creative levels on there. So there's all kinds of stuff. So
and
yeah.
I think Nintendo has done a better job with this game compared to the first one at like curating those kind of levels. Like I think there's a category for like auto scroller levels where you don't move, and
you can also do tags when you create a level. I don't remember if the first one had that, did it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. And also like you can check out people's ratings of it, and that you can leave a comment and check out people's completion rate. So like for me, anything that's below like 7% or something for me is usually too difficult. So I like to stick to the ones that are closer to like 20% completion. That way I like it because I'm not good at Mario.
Well, I've seen some that are like 3%. I'm like, nah.
I've seen some that are like below 1%. So like, yeah, like you don't. That's.
I'm good at Mario, but like I still don't want to spend 2 hours beating a level. You know. So
cool. So what else? What else have you been playing?
I also I'm not gonna talk about it because we'll be doing a review episode soon. I've been working through A Plague Tale Innocence. Of course, we've been talking about reviewing that forever. I've been playing through it, and Chris has played some too, so we could discuss it in a back and forth really well. It's just, I mean this in a positive way. It's just a very dense game. There's a lot going on, a lot of emotion. It's definitely not a game that you're going to play for 40 minutes after work. It's better for like, you got an hour or two to play. So that's why I'm still working my way through. I'm probably like 2/3 way through it though. I am also, once I finished Super Mario Maker 2, I was of course in the mood to keep the platforming party going. I'm still playing multiplayer stuff on that, of course, but so I'm playing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Ooh, man, that game, man. Holy shit, is that good?
It's really good. Yeah, like I'm having so much fun with it. I got it at launch on the Switch, but I just hadn't played like more past like the first world. I think I just got distracted, as we do when stuff comes out.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm in the middle of the third world now. I just beat the giant owl boss the other day, and fuck that
dude.
guy.
That boss that boss fucked me up.
I was upset, and it took me like an hour to beat him. It was it's terrible.
But the cool thing about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is that it's pretty hard, I think. Maybe even a little too hard for me. But with the introduction of Funky Kong, which gives you extra lives and stuff, or extra hearts.
He's got different abilities.
Yeah. He can glide or something like that.
And he can like walk on the spikes.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. So like, if you ever just want to get through the game and don't feel like getting frustrated, yeah, just play as Funky Kong. And there are also other little modifiers you can include as well. Like, you can go to the in-game store and with not real money, but like in-game currency.
Yeah, this is Nintendo, not Activision.
Right. Or EA. Fucking EA. Purchase like little modifiers like extra health or like a balloon that'll catch you if you fall.
Yeah,
so,
if you're like stuck and you're like, I can almost beat this, and you just want to stop almost beating it. Yeah, right. You can just get like an item that might give you just enough of a push where you don't have to keep grinding through that level and you can just move on. And you need to do that because this game, the music, the atmosphere, the story, the level, the variety. I can't even say the word level variety. The reason I say that's because it's like there's good level variety, but like there's good variety within the same level. You know, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, and there are like mechanics that are introduced way later in the game that you're like, wow, I'm like halfway through this game and I'm still seeing new mechanics. Like obviously there's like the minecart sections, but there's like a top-down minecart section that just sort of came out of nowhere that I'm like, that's a new thing. There's another section where you're flying on a rocket. I
did a level the other day where I was on the minecart and stuff, but then all of a sudden the minecart's broken and I'm jumping on wood that this this log cutter's in front of me, and I'm jumping on the wood that it's throwing out, and like I literally paused the game and just looked up and went, holy shit, because like it was just so exciting that like this is a cool idea, you know?
Yeah. So one of the great platforms of
I think it's one of the best 2D platformers ever made. Like it's just so good.
Yeah. I almost said one of the great platformers of this generation, but that's actually a Wii U game. So I don't know how you consider that.
I love these ports because you're taking... I know I've said this in the show before, but the Wii U may have failed, but it didn't fail because of first-party software support. The first-party games in the Wii U were all fucking amazing. The only one that might not have been like fucking amazing was Star Fox Zero, and even then, Star Fox Zero was decent, you know?
I actually kind of like that game, but yeah. So I'm very curious to see what Retro's working on now, because that was their last game, I think, right? Donkey Kong.
I would guess they're working on Prime 4, but they might not be. I don't know. Well, they could have a different studio working on that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But what about what they were working on in the meantime?
Yeah, hopefully there's a sequel to Tropical Freeze or whatever. That'd be great.
Or something, yeah.
The last game I'm playing is Dr. Mario World. That came out on Android and iOS the other day.
So describe what the game is.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Dr. Mario games, you know, that we've had on other platforms. It's a puzzle game. There's a few differences that they've changed for mobile. For example, your pieces, your capsules, those go up the screen now instead of down the screen, which works better for your kind of muscle memory on a phone. And so pretty much what you're doing is you're kind of it kind of reminds me of Tetris Attack. You're like you're lining colors up, you know, so to get rid of the viruses and of course your capsules too, because once your capsules take out, you got like a red virus and then you've got two red, you've got your two red pieces from a capsule. There's 3 in a row now that will, be destroyed, but you have to get rid of the viruses, the monsters or whatever, and your capsules too. And you can play as different characters. So far I have Mario and Bowser. There's more you can unlock, and they all have different like abilities that charge up over time.
And this is a free-to-play game.
Yeah, it's free-to-play, and I want to say that so far I haven't really felt compelled to spend any money. I'm probably going to spend at least $5 just to throw some money at the game that I'm enjoying. But, I don't think the microtransactions feel intrusive. It reminds me of Super Mario Run, which I thought was also fantastic, where, at no point do I feel like, man, I need to spend some money on this. Super Mario Run wasn't free-to-play. That was a paid game. But I'm saying, I think it's, in that realm of quality where this is a solid mobile game that I think everybody should check out. It's really fun. Obviously if you want to spend money you can, but I don't think I haven't felt like I need to spend money to succeed, it's fun regardless.
So what kind of like obviously these kind of games are ones that are built to last a long time, and they're games that are constantly updated to keep people sticking around. What kind of things do you think would come to Mario World to keep it fresh? Sort of like what Nitro Fueled has with the Grand Prix, or any of these games that are constantly updated.
I would guess they probably have like events that are related to Nintendo products that are releasing kind of in the Mario family. I saw like an ad in the notifications saying like, talk about Mario Maker 2. Not like an event, but like they were talking about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they have, events or levels that are kind of related, to Nintendo IPs, outside Dr. Mario World. My only complaint so far, and this is not surprising because this is how Nintendo has been doing things on mobile, is it requires a constant internet connection, which is irritating because like, so my desk at work, my cell phone service cuts out sometimes, and like, and this is a big one I think I should mention too. What if you're in a city where you're a commuter, like New York?
Oh, and you go through a tunnel or something.
Yep, there goes your game. It'll take you back to the main menu.
Okay, it kicks you back to the main menu, huh?
And that's just there's no reason for that.
Yeah, do you think that's something that will be updated?
No, because they've done that with other games too. I think they want you connected because they want you to. I don't know, because they don't do anything that makes you feel like, man, obviously, you can buy stuff to make the game a little bit easier, just like you could with like Candy Crush or something. But like, the game isn't like overly hard where like you have to spend money to do well. So what I'm saying is they've been friendly in the development. The only thing that I could think of for the connection though is maybe they want you to be connected to the internet so you can spend money if you want. But I mean, even then, the gameplay doesn't push you to like need to spend money. So I don't know. It's confusing. I don't think the game benefits from it at all. It's just like shitty DRM almost for a free game. I don't know. It's very confusing to me why they would do that with their games. But it's really fun to play. I will say this too, in case anyone downloads it and goes, wow, this game's for babies. It starts off like stupid easy for the first like 5 levels, and that's just because they're showing you mechanics.
Right.
So instead of having like a tutorial where it's a shitload of text, they just have a couple of levels that are like plain and simple, like, oh, do that, oh, level's over. And once I hit level 20, level 20 took me like a half hour to beat because I kept getting stuck because you only have so many capsules, right? And those capsules are needed to not only clear out all the viruses, but you also need to clear out the capsules themselves. And so you need to be smart about where you're placing them because you only have so many per level. The number can vary. And that's one of the microtransactions. You can buy extra capsules for a level. But again, I mean, all you're doing is pretty much spending a few dollars to make the game easier. Like, you don't need to do that to succeed. I eventually did beat the level that I was stuck on forever. So, I mean, if you're into puzzle games at all, check it out. My friend Mike's, like, way into puzzle games and Tetris and whatnot. Like, he came over to hang out one time and played Tetris on our Tetris Effect or PSVR for, like, an hour and, like, finished the game. He's like really into puzzle games, so I told him to download it. And I think he's probably enjoying it. Is my guess. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him since I texted him that. But yeah, like if you like puzzle games at all, check it out. It's really fun. And for that matter, if you like Fire Emblem or Mario, check out those respective mobile games too. Because man, Super Mario Run, like I know it's $10, but like it was a really fun,
I
Mario
think
game.
A good one.
Yeah. So far Nintendo's doing well, other than the always online thing is. It's puzzling. I don't understand it.
It's puzzling?
Oh, that was good. I didn't mean to say that. Like, I didn't mean to make a pun.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll go ahead and check that one out at some point. All right, that about wraps us up here for episode 29. Remember, you can always submit your questions on our Friday threads on Twitter, so look out for that. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, all that. You can toss us a couple bucks on Patreon to keep these lights and mics on. And you can, of course, purchase our shirts on Teespring. So let's do... I don't really have anything going on that I'm working on right now that I can talk about. So you can find me on Twitter at Joseph Yaden. And, of course, covering news on PlayStation Lifestyle. Josh, where can people find you online?
You could find me on Twitter at Mr. Josh Nichols and on Twitch at twitch.tv/jerkjerk77. I will probably be streaming... I'm trying to think of the next thing I'll be streaming. Probably the new Wolfenstein. That looks really great. And I'm sure I'll be playing all through all that.
Youngblood and Cyberpilot are the two games that are coming out on the same day. The Cyberpilot's the VR.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on that, not because I don't like good VR games, but I already have, I'm already, inundated VR backlog. I don't need any more right now. But they both look cool.
Yeah. And then for Chris, I don't know if he's working on anything right now, but you can find him on Twitter at twitter.com/penwellwrites. So you can hit him up there. I want to thank everybody for listening, leaving good feedback. Those questions are awesome, everybody. Thank you for doing that. And we will see you next week. Chris should be back, and we'll have a normal episode covering news and everything. So.
Also, look forward to our Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled review episode soon, and also a Plague Tale Innocence review episode soon. And then finally, I promise this month we will launch the first episode of our spin-off extra series, Quest Complete.
Quest Complete, yeah, and then we've got our review of Bloodstained.
I forgot that's coming up too.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, so we got a lot going on. So yeah, thank you everybody. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.